Hi, everyone. It's Pastor Larry Buckland. So glad to be with you on another episode of the Rambles On. And I'm so glad to have with me today Taylor Shultz, and she is the Director of Awareness and Development at the Monongalia County Child Advocacy Center. So good to have you, Taylor.
Thanks for having me.
How are you today?
I'm doing well.
You ready for spring?
Yes.
Warmer
weather.
I know we've talked. Your husband loves baseball. He's a Reds fan just like I am. And
yes.
So I know he's excited too.
He's very excited.
Yeah. And in April, Reds fans have hope.
Right. Yep. Not for very long. No.
And I know a lot of you listeners are Pirate fans, so you'll just have to deal with us today. I got a couple Reds fans here today, but that's not why we're here. We're going to talk about the Monongalia County Child Advocacy Center. And so, Taylor, can you tell me a little bit about your background and what led you to come aboard, and maybe a little bit of how some of your work life brought you to this place?
Yeah, so I am from Preston County, and I got my degree from WVU from the School of Public Health. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do for a bit. I worked during and after college at the Ronald McDonald House and really fell in love with the nonprofit work and helping children. So that kind of led me to where I'm at today at the Mon County Child Advocacy Center, and wasn't really what I expected to do with my life. I thought I was going to be a nurse, but I realized that this is definitely more of my speed. I get to be creative and make a difference at the same time, which is perfect for me.
That's awesome. I get it. I thought I was going to be a sportscaster. And so here I am as a pastor, and, I still get to talk about sports with this avenue of medium on a podcast every once in a while. We talk about it, and even the church people let me do it too. But I'm so glad that you are in the field you're in, and that you've answered that call that I see as a calling. And so thank you for what you're using your gifts to be who you are and support the Advocacy Center. So in light of that, can you tell me a little bit about the mission of the Monongalia County Child Advocacy Center?
Yeah, so our mission at MCCAC is to advocate for children who have been abused, neglected, or who have encountered other adverse childhood experiences. We provide a child-friendly and safe environment where children and their families can be interviewed, educated, and healed. And
that's so important to know that there's hope for them, and there's a place that people can come when sometimes it might feel like it's the worst thing possible that can be imaginable, but that there is a place of refuge, and there are advocates for children and advocates for families. So in light of that, I think it's important for people to know statistics tell us a lot, and I think people will be surprised a little bit about the numbers that you have for us from Monongalia County.
Yeah, so in 2024, we provided advocacy and support to 945 clients in Mon County. So there are 22 now child advocacy centers throughout our state of West Virginia. And some of those counties or CACs serve more than one county. We're just covering Mon County, so these numbers are reflective just to our community. We provided 223 forensic interviews, and I always like to point out to people that those interviews are done by 3 forensic interviewers at our center, so that is a lot for them to have to take in. And then we provided 953 therapy sessions and 5,326 advocacy services.
This is all in Monongalia County.
All in our community, yep.
That's incredible to think that there are so many cases like this, and it's important then to talk about how vital an advocacy center for children is in this community. So tell me a little bit about what some of those services are.
Yeah, so we have 4 programs at our center here in Mon County. One of those, which is our main one, is the Child Advocacy Center program. So that has 3 resiliency building services under that program: forensic interviews, therapy, and then advocacy services. So a forensic interview, for those who aren't familiar with that process, we'll get referrals from law enforcement, child protective services, prosecutor attorney's office when there's been an allegation of abuse or some other type of trauma. Our lead family advocate and interviewer will then schedule with the family to come into the center for a forensic interview. It'll be the child and a non-offending caregiver. The child will then meet in our interview room one-on-one with trained forensic interviewer, and they're going to assess for all areas of safety. They're going to see if anything's happened to that child, there's no leading questions, and it's all in a kid-friendly way. And then while that's happening, we have a camera in that room, and the investigative team, so law enforcement, CPS, attorneys, people like that, will be in the observation room observing the interview while it's happening in real time. So CACs were created so children only have to tell their story once. They're not having to re-traumatize themselves, rehash their story and what's happened to them multiple times to different entities. So this just brings everyone together. They can get all the information they need, and it's not as hard on the child. So that's a forensic interview. And then for those clients, if they need therapy, if they're not already receiving therapy, we can pick them up for therapy in-house at our center. And then if we have the space available, then we can take referrals from like schools or community members. And then each case that comes through, whether it's an interview and or therapy, they are assigned with a family advocate. So you can think of them as caseworkers. They'll connect the family to resources, go to court with them, really anything they need, they can help with.
So what are some of the challenges then? That you even talked about if space is available, or what are some of the challenges that we may not realize that you deal with on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so the space can be an issue. So we are obligated to take on forensic interview clients, of course, first if they need therapy. We have 4 part-time therapists. We would love to get a full-time one as well. So with increase in staff comes increase in funding. So that's always huge for nonprofits. So I would say funding and then awareness. A lot of people don't always know what we do until they need the services themselves, which is unfortunate. But even if you're never going to need our services, it's good to have a CAC in your community for those folks who do need it, and just a community as a whole. And so I think awareness definitely can be an issue with that. People not knowing what we do, you're connected to a case in one way or the other. I'm sure you know somebody who has been impacted by abuse.
Not knowing what you do. That's I think a larger population than we would hope. Mm-hmm. I admit, when I was living in Marion County, I didn't know about the Child Advocacy Center until a church member who was the director of the Marion County Child Advocacy Center, Mike Baker, invited me to come and learn more, and I became a board member. And of course, then my knowledge gained and got to be a part of events and of course, all the things that a board will do to support and advise. So I learned a lot. And so I was very excited when a church member here gave you my name and you reached out and brought us together to talk about the Montague County Child Advocacy Center. I got to go over and have a tour, and what a great facility. Thanks. I was very impressed with the facility and to learn more, and was able then to be invited to apply to be a board member. And I'm so excited to say that I'm going to be attending my first board member later this month.
Yes, we're very excited to have you on our board.
I can't wait, and looking forward to learning what all that I can do to be a support and get to know the others that have like minds that want to support our children and our families in our county. So also, we're going to talk about what's this month, April.
Yes, Child Abuse Prevention Month.
We have a whole month, and we talked a little bit earlier. It's kind of interesting to have a month talking about to bring it to the forefront about what we should be doing every day.
Right. It can seem kind of silly to do that, but it really helps us be able to highlight the important work we do all month long and really get others involved in our mission. And whether that's sharing all of our education materials on social media during the month, or whether you're attending an event, it feels like it's more on the forefront of your mind when you have a month dedicated to it.
It is, and it's exciting. And I can't help but think, it's important to have months like that to bring awareness, because then people may think about how they can get involved. And as they get involved, they'll continue to do so. For example, in the life of the church, April 20th is going to be a big day here. It's not just April 20th, it's Easter. Well, I tell people all the time we're Easter people. But on that day, people will get excited and we'll have a lot of people. So I think it's so good to have have this month. And we're going to have a special Sunday even on April 27th, is Blue Sunday. And folks can come out and meet Taylor. She's going to have a table out there with some resources and be able to talk to her and be able to ask you some questions.
Yeah, we're really excited to have a table for Blue Sunday. It's not something we've done in the past, and we're really excited to do it this year and hopefully moving forward. But I'll have some educational materials and some information on events we have coming up. So we're really excited to spread that message.
Speaking of events coming up, or also, how can individuals and organizations find ways to learn more about you? They can, of course, come and ask you questions on Sunday, April 27th. I'm reminding everybody.
Yes.
But there might be other ways that people can connect too. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we're pretty active on social media platforms. I feel like that's a really easy way to reach people. You can always follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I run those pages too. So if you have a question, you're more than welcome to send a message on there.
They're going to get you, right?
Yes, they'll get me.
Tell me about some events. Tell me about some events that are coming up that we can continue to highlight the Child Advocacy Center.
Yeah, so for Child Abuse Prevention Month, we are participating in our 3rd annual High Five Drive. So that is a statewide campaign used to create awareness and funds for the Child Advocacy Centers throughout the state. So it's an online campaign, so you can find that link on our social medias. And we also partner with a few businesses in the community to display the hands that you can purchase. So the idea is to give a high five to all the clients we served last year, or donate $5 for each of those. You can purchase a hand for $5 at the Pop Shop in Westover, Antiqua Tea House down the road, or the Tea Shop in the Seneca Center. They'll have the little hands that you can put your name on, write a message to our kiddos, and then that gets displayed in the storefront. We also have our biggest fundraiser of the year coming up on May 30th, Girls Night Out, with a Roaring 20s theme. And this year we are hosting that at the Alumni Center. So that's kind of our take on a gala. We have live auctions, silent auctions, raffles, a live band, dinner, a little bit of everything.
And we talked earlier, it's not only just for the ladies. That's just a name that it's been for many years.
Yes, for 17 years, it's been Girls Night Out. So we haven't changed it, but anyone is welcome.
So please, guys, also, or everybody, get your tickets too and come out and support. I'm going to check my calendar as soon as we're done here, and I plan to be there as well. So I hope that you will support the Child Advocacy Center. Taylor, is there anything else that you'd like to tell us today? I know with the nature of the Child Advocacy Center, the ways for the general community to be involved, it's a little challenging for that. But events like this and educational opportunities, coming and visiting the table on April 27th are ways that you can learn more about the Child Advocacy Center. Anything else you'd like to tell us?
Yeah, just stay connected. We do have volunteer opportunities, usually like outdoor spruce ups, where our kids play in our little yard. That'll be coming up this spring. Just staying connected to see what we have going on. We do have a free community event on April 16th. So that is an educational event. People can come out to that. Just staying connected. Invite us places so I can come speak to your social circle, your book club, any type of thing. We like to be creative. So if you think we could be involved with your social circle, just let us know.
I'm sure there's some other groups here within the church that we can try to get you there to talk and speak to them.
That would be great.
Get the message out there.
Yeah.
Well, we're so glad you took time today, Taylor, to talk about this. And we're going to highlight this month of April of awareness for all of children's protection. And so we want to make sure we're doing a great job of that. And you've done a super job articulating that today with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us and allowing us to use our platform to share about our mission.
We're so glad you are, and we're so glad for what you do. And we at Suncrest believe that all are welcome and that all of God's children, are important. So why wouldn't we want to partner with the Child Advocacy Center here in Montague County? So we're grateful for you. So we've had another episode of the Rambles On, and we look forward to the next time where we get together. And thank you for listening. Hope you'll subscribe and share. So until next time, we look forward to seeing you in church sometime. Have a great day.